What's up, guys? Hope everything's going good. So, chapter 389 is out, and it's a bit of a boring chapter, in my opinion, but we're gonna kind of talk about some of the stuff that happened. So, Micah and Byron, they're sparring, and honestly, this is probably one of the more boring parts of the chapter for me. But they're sparring, trying to get the feel of things, trying to because they're basically are near full strength again, which is good. You know that they get their strength back. But they're sparring at the beginning of this, and Arthur, he's testing out his realm heart ability, his new god room. And so the way that Arthur talks about their injuries, I'm guessing that Alice, with Regis' help, can't heal their wounds, can't heal Micah's eye, and can't grow Veray her arm back. I don't know if they even try, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be able to happen, which is interesting, because you would think that, you know, since her abilities got more powerful with Regis' help with the ether and stuff, that maybe they should be able to do something like that, but maybe not. So once again, Arthur's thinking about leaving and maybe going back to the Relictums and, you know, trying to get stronger and learn some more of the Djinn's secrets. But then there's kind of like the back and forth where it's just like, oh, he wants to go, but if he leaves, his family will be in danger. There might not be a continent left to protect anymore. So he's still kind of weighing like the risk of like, okay, going to the Relictums, but then like leaving them, being vulnerable, you know, talking about how, you know, the Lances, they can't even beat a kid Asura, basically, with Tassi. So they're not up to fight at all. So it's still that back and forth, which I think he should just took everybody and went to the Relictums, but that's not what's happening. But yeah, so we're just getting Byron and Micah sparring, and honestly, I would have rather have seen Veray and Arthur spar or read about it. So that would have been a little bit more interesting to me than getting so much of the chapter about just Micah sparring with Byron. Because Veray wanted to spar, but Arthur's like, nah, I'm gonna go check on Gideon and see what's going on with there. So that didn't happen. So Arthur's still testing out his god room, and where he's at right now, he can see and sense the mana when he activates his god rune, but when his god rune isn't active, he can't sense anything. So he has no sensing of the mana without the god rune being activated. So we still need to see him develop it and see kind of where he can progress the god rune too, because right now it's just kind of like he can see it, he can sense it, but he can't do anything unless it's activated. We see Gideon and Emily, because Arthur goes there and checks out, see what they're doing. And so they're still experimenting with some of the Alacrian technology. You know, they got the staff that they use when they did the bestowing of, you know, the marks, the crests, the emblems or the regalias and whatnot. So they're kind of tweaking, messing around with that. And then we get these like beads that are apparently made from the Djinn's bones, and they are attracted towards ether. So that makes me start thinking about the dagger that Arthur had found with the millipede. You know, so maybe that dagger was made by one of the Djinn's bones. He didn't really talk about how it was like attracted to ether, but it could hold and withstand, you know, him imbuing it with ether. So maybe it's kind of similar. Maybe somebody took one of the Djinn's bones and, you know, forged that dagger with it. I'm not really sure, but that's what it made me think about. So they hear some explosion, and they're moving to check out what's going on with there. And so apparently Gideon created this musket rocket launcher looking thing that he's calling a rune cannon. So that thing, that's kind of like the new experiment that he's working on, and it'll give the, you know, the non-mage humans a power up, you know, with them being able to fight, and, you know, potentially evaporate a yellow core mage. But once again, does it even really matter when you're having to deal with, you know, Asuras? Like, no basic mage is going to be able to fight an Asura. You know, not only you gotta fight the Asuras, you gotta fight the Scythes, and you're not messing with them with no basic humans and no basic mages. Like, it's not about to happen. Like, a Silver Core mage ain't gonna do shit with a scythe. Like, a Silver Core mage is not gonna beat a retainer. So they need to get power. They need to get more powerful and fast. And so we're still kind of waiting to see how they're gonna go about doing it. So basically, this chapter just ends off with a cliffhanger. There's another explosion, and it's a bigger explosion. It's further away, and Gideon doesn't have anything to do with it. So we're just kind of like, oh, what's happening? So, like I said, cliffhanger. So hopefully, in the next chapter, they kind of like, you know, continue from here, and maybe things kind of progress. Maybe they got attacked by somebody. Maybe it's the Alacrians. Maybe it's one of the Asuras, or maybe one of the explosions is from Aldir and Ren. Maybe they showed up. You know, we don't really know for sure, but yeah. So that's kind of how this chapter ends. Honestly, this chapter it was a bit boring for me. Last chapter was a lot more exciting learning about the Asuras, because I'm really interested in learning more about them, their culture, politics, and how that all works out. This chapter was just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna spar, and then we're gonna hang out with Gideon and Emily, talking about the things that they experimented on, and then cliffhanger. That's pretty much it. So this chapter wasn't really that special, in my opinion. But I mean, it's normal, because you're gonna have chapters that are gonna be really slow, where you don't really progress too much and stuff like that. So that's not really too concerning. Well, it'd be concerning if we get like multiple slow chapters. That's when I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. We got like 2-3 slow chapters. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, so I just wanted to get this video out. I know I'm late. It's been a busy last couple of days. Friday was super busy. Saturday today was really busy. So I was able to get it out when I can. But once again, you guys, I appreciate you guys listening to me. Like the video if you liked it. I'm gonna be making another video about the next chapter, and I also I want to talk about the webtoon chapter that came out the other day, when Arthur had revealed to his parents about, you know, the truth of his past life. But stay tuned for that. But I'll check you guys out next week. Peace.